Hi there, this is Shiv Prasad. In this video and in the next 5-6 videos, I am going to teach you circles in coordinate geometry at intermediate level, that is plus 1 and plus 2 levels. Before we dive into coordinate geometry on circles, let us first see a few points from pure geometry on circles which we use frequently in coordinate geometry. I am sure many of these points from pure geometry look very rudimentary for many of the students, but still it is a good thing to revise, recollect, and remember these points. See, suppose I have a circle having center as C and the radius R. So I have one more circle having center as D and radius say R1. Now if I am going to take a point P on this circle, I simply say take a point P on the circle C, I say. What I am trying to tell you is this circle is there. I am going to refer to this circle by its center. So to say that take a point P on this circle, I simply say take a point P on the circle C. So if I want to tell you to take a point R on this circle, I simply say take a point R on the circle D. So usually we refer to the circles by the names of their centers. That is what I said here. Okay, and given three non-collinear points, there is exactly one circle passing through them. Now obviously you can see that if I take the triangle formed by those 3 points, the circle becomes the circumcircle of the triangle. Next, if you take a circle, take any chord and that is the center. If you take the perpendicular bisector of this chord, then it always passes through the center of the circle. Okay, now you see if I have circles having the same center, suppose I have many circles here and they all have the same center, then we call these circles as concentric circles. And concyclic points, you see if I have more than 3 points are there which lie on the same circle, then we call those points as concyclic points. For example, in here I can say that the points A, B, C, D, E are concyclic points. So concyclic points means lying on the same circle. And next we have secant, tangent and normal. You see I have a circle. We know that if a line touches the circle at a point P, then we call it as tangent to the circle. Now if a line cuts the circle like this, then we call this as a secant. So this is tangent. Now we know that if we join the point of contact to the center, then this is a right angle. And also we know that the line that is perpendicular to the tangent and passing through the point of contact is nothing but normal to the curve at that point. Therefore, for the circle at the point P, this line is the normal. And as you can see, normal always passes through the center of the circle. And also, when this is a tangent and this is radius joining the point of contact, then we know that it is perpendicular. So this is the perpendicular distance from center to the tangent. So you can see that this is nothing but radius. So a line is tangent if and only if distance from center to the line is equal to radius. Now these 2 points are very important when it comes to tangent. You see, a line is a tangent to the circle if and only if the distance from center to the line is equal to radius. That is 1 point. And normal to the circle at any point always passes through the center of the circle. These two very useful points while doing problems. So this is also covered. To understand the next point, let us first look at this story. See, I have a circle. Now I am taking 2 points A and B on this. Now you can see that I have 2 arcs here. This is one arc AB and this is one more arc AB. We know that we call this as minor arc, this part as minor arc, and the other part as major arc. Now suppose that is the center of the circle. You see, I call this angle as angle made by AB on the circumference. This angle, I call it as angle made by AB on the circumference. So when I say like that, I mean to say this arc, but not the major arc. So what I am trying to tell you is, I don't call this angle as angle made by AB on the circumference. I mean to say it is not the angle made by this arc AB, but I can say that this is the angle made by, say if I call this as alpha, I can say that alpha is the angle made by this arc AB, the major arc AB, I can say. So basically what I am trying to tell you is, I have a circle there. Now I have an arc AB. Now if I say that angle made by the arc on the circumference means, you see this is the arc, then go for the other segment of the circle, and this angle we call it as angle made by AB on the circumference. So if you are referring to the angle made by this major arc in the circle, then we mean this angle alpha. So you see, I have a circle. Now I have an arc AB, that is center of the circle. Now this is one more situation I'll show here, that is center of the circle. Okay, coming to this one, this is angle made by AB on the circumference. If this is theta, then angle made by this arc at the center, it's going to be 2 theta. And same thing here also. You see, if you take the major arc here, then that is the angle made by AB on the circumference, and this is the angle made by this one, not this part, not this one. This is the angle made by AB at the circumference, then this is 2 alpha. So that is what we are saying in the first point over here. Angle at the center is twice the angle at the circumference. By that we mean this story only. So this part is over. I know that many of the next points that I am going to discuss are consequences of the other points, but still a direct knowledge of these points is very useful while doing problems in coordinate geometry. And these points, they are very simple and we already know them, as I said earlier. You see, angle in a semicircle is always a right angle. So I have a semicircle here, and that is the angle, and it is always a right angle. So if I take like this, that is also right angle. If I take like this is also right angle. Next, angles in the same segment are equal in the sense that, see, I have line segment, I mean circle, and I have an arc AB. You see the angle subtended by this on the circumference. If this is theta, this is also going to be theta. So angles in the same segment are equal. When we say that, this is what we mean to say. Next, angle in the major segment. You see, suppose I have a circle here. Now I have a chord AB. Now say it is subtending an angle theta here, and it subtends an angle alpha here. Then alpha plus theta is 180. That means alpha is nothing but 180 minus theta. So obviously, if you are going to have a cyclic quadrilateral, then this angle plus this angle is going to be, the sum of those two angles is going to be 180 degrees. Similarly, sum of these two angles, say if I call them as gamma and delta for fun, gamma plus delta is also 180 degrees. And alternate segment theorem. You see, suppose I have a tangent to the circle. Suppose the point of contact is P. Now I take a chord PQ here. You see, if PQ makes an angle alpha with the tangent, then the angle subtended by PQ on the circumference, this is also alpha. So in a circle, if a chord PQ subtends an angle alpha with the tangent at P, then the other segment, it subtends the same angle alpha on the circumference. That is the moral of the story. Okay, now this is also over. Next, unit circle. If a circle has radius 1, we know that we call it as unit circle. So in a plane, how many different unit circles are possible? Infinitely many. Now, for the time being, this is the last concept from pure geometry that I need. You see, I have a circle. I have a line intersecting the circle in points A and B. Then this AB, we call it as length of the intercept made by the circle on the line. That is how we call it. AB is called length of the intercept made by the circle on the line. So before we move further, I want all of you to make yourself thorough with these basic points in circles from your high school geometry.